Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be doing my deck profile on my Atmile deck, so based off of the Xion deck in Vanguard G, but it's my take on it, and I put together like basically all the best Royal Paladin stuff, minus my Thingsaver, because Thingsaver is with Ashley Reverse. That deck will change now that the Fighters Collection stuff is out. But anyway, this is going to be the Atmile deck with a special secret surprise. So for Blue Sky Knight Atmile, I don't remember doing a deck profile on this guy, but anyway, I did build him originally with the Sanctuary of Light from Brilliant Strike, that ride chain that Royal Paladins had. But eventually I realized that I had this guy actually, because I did get the Mega Trial deck, the English equivalent of the Daigo starter deck or trial deck or whatever. It was like that Mega, it came in like a big box with sleeves for some other grade 3 Royal Paladin and some other stuff. So I do have my one Sanctuary Guard Dragon, and I did actually pull 2 of these from the other Fighters Collection box out of like 3 boxes or 2 boxes, I think. I forgot, I think it's 3 boxes. That I only got like 3 boxes of those. I did pull 2 of these, so potentially I can run the Sanctuary Guard thing. So yeah, do have access to that. So the one Sanctuary Guard, but the main focus of the deck is the Atmile play. So I am running 3 Knight of Great Spear as a backup Vanguard just in case. At least he does something. Nice thing about Sanctuary Guard, he's limit break, so he is very good against grade 2 and stuff like that. So that's the grade 3 lineup. Next, for Knight of Twin Sword. He is the Amber clone for them. Everybody probably already knows what he does. He's just a pretty good card. I like to run, those who've watched a lot of my deck profile videos probably notice this pattern, but the way I build decks, if I'm building a GB2 Stride focus deck, and if the winning image is based off of this as the main Vanguard as opposed to any of the other ones, I do tend to max this type of card out, because I do feel that this card was meant, like it's the way the deck was meant to be played. I think like the way the developers who developed this new Stride format, they had this type of card with this type of effect in mind when they were designing like on Stride skills and even GB2 skills and Stride skills. So I do tend to run 4 of this. A lot of people tend to only run like 2 or 3. I feel like 4 is the best way to go, because just in case. Next, 3 Knight of Refinement Benizil. So he is a pretty good card for Atmile support. So I do run 3 of him. Pretty good way of calling your grade 2s. And then Knight of Fragment, he's also a fairly decent card. He can be taken with other Royal Paladin decks. He's not specific to Atmile, so it's worth mentioning that. And then just like Xion, I am running the one Tech Gal. Tech Gal mainly because Royal Paladin tends to, at least Atmile's playstyle, they tend to spam a lot of grade 2s. Like this guy calls grade 2s, this guy calls grade 2s. So Tech Gal is a good way to get a grade 2 as a booster, and then if you have to intercept off your either of these guys, then he's behind. He can like move up to the front to fight. In the show, they do show that in a couple of Xion's matches, so I do actually like that play, but because he's grade 2 and because of this guy, you don't want to run too many of these, and he's an 8K also, so 1 is really enough as just like a special tech card, so hence the name Tech Gal. For grade 1s, 4 of the Flash Shield Assault. So this deck is very counterblast heavy, so I do recommend running the Perfect Guard G. The only reason why it's not in here is because I do have a Royal Paladin deck that is more counterblast heavier than this one, so it's not in here. But yeah, that one would be ideal because like with most Stride decks, they're very counterblast heavy because they're on Stride effect skills. Of course, if you're playing this guy that game, then this is more ideal because it can stop anything. It can protect rear guards and stuff, so. But still, because it's mostly Atmile, I would recommend running the other one. And then for Stride Fodder Laurel Knight, because max him out, it's a Stride focused deck. It searches out Atmile. It looks kind of like a Legion for him, sort of. Like, they have the same similar clothing style and color scheme going. Next, 4 Knight of Reform here. 4 of him, he's really good with Atmile. Focus on Atmile. And then 2 Gigantech Shot Putter. This one isn't really... Okay, so like this one I've contemplated running like 8K vanillas and other things, because that last 2 spot there is kind of like... Because the deck can't really call that many grade 1s most of the time. Like, this is the only card in the deck that can do that. And it's not very reliable because there's only 1 copy of it. So that's why I did go with this guy, because he can potentially power up 2 other units. So he could potentially power up a Vanguard plus 5k and then a rear guard, or he can power up both sides. So he can sacrifice himself basically to power up 2 things. So I just went with him for now. I mean, it does work. For the trigger lineup, 4 Encourage Angel. Because Royal Paladin has become very similar to Gold Paladin in their playstyle now, where they get very high powered columns. All 3 columns are very strong, so the rearguard columns being strong, stand triggers really shine in late game when you have very powerful rearguard columns. So that's why she's really good in here. And plus she has a pretty good effect for the deck as well. And then 4 Bringer of Dreams, Belenus. He's the Atmile's personal critical thing, you know, the critical trigger that when the Atmile attacks, you can put him in the soul, draw him a card, and the Vanguard gets 5k, so it's that thing. And then 4 more critical, and then 4 heal, so it's the 4 stand, 8 critical, 4 draw, or 4 heal. And then the Shining Knight, Milius, because I feel like for Atmile, since the deck is very Atmile focused, I feel like this is still like one of the best starters. Just to set up your columns properly. Like, you can, if you don't have a twin sword out, you can pull a twin sword. You can start the combos going from there with just him and an Atmile and things like that. So that's the main deck. For the Stride deck, like I said earlier, because of the Sanctuary Guard, I do run my 2 Sanctuary Guard Regel. So he is just, you know, Sanctuary Guard. A lot of people hate this card. I only have 2, so if they ever do something to this, like if they restrict it to 2, then whatever. And then, well, it's 1 Gablade from the trial deck, and then 1 Samuel. Samuel, I surprisingly find him not so useful in here. At first I thought he was going to be really, really good, but I feel like because of the Counterblast 2, it's a situational card. You kind of want... You do this when you know you have enough Counterblast, first of all, and your opponent is low on damage, and you want to catch up. Otherwise, you... Like, I don't really stride this that often. Like, I would rather stride this guy. So for Aerial Divine Knight Atmile, because this guy, with that, especially if you're on Atmile, but you don't even have to be on Atmile to use this guy. That's why I like this guy. He can call more, like, he can basically get your field fixed up if you're up against Narukami, so he's really good against Narukami. He's really good against Kagero and those type of decks. I mean, Gear Chronicle even. So that's why I find Atmile is kind of like the best stride unit in here right now. But let me know what you guys think of the deck. It's a pretty fun Royal Paladin deck. It does have access to Sanctuary Guard on a budget. Just the one that I have. I collected these. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you think of Atmile compared to the other Royal Paladin decks. And stay tuned for more Cardfight Vanguard videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.